Hi everyone, my name is Steve Courage, and in today's video, I want to share with you the story of how I did a secret wedding. Now, let me tell you a story. Very long time ago, when I was still a teenager, somebody did a wedding in my family, and you know I saw all these wedding programs that is in my country. They are going to do something they call introduction, and they are going to do what they call engagement, and they are going to do wedding, probably Thanksgiving after wedding. And I was probably just 14, 15 years old boy, but something in me told me that this is not right. I mean, something is wrong with this. Why wasting all this money to, you know, entertain all this crowd because of wedding? But of course, when you are a child, your opinion cannot be taken serious. You probably don't understand how the world works. So why do you believe you have any opinion in the first place? Maybe I was wrong, but as I grew up, I see more and more and more of how people did wedding in my country, and every of those time I got angry, and I asked myself, does this really make sense to anybody? For you to really understand what I'm saying here, let me give you one or two pictures. I attended the wedding of one of my best friends in the year 2010 or 11, and in the evening after the wedding, I and my friend were talking, and he told me something. You know what he told me? He said, "Steve, I have spent all the money I have and all the money I could borrow." Think about that for a moment. How does that make sense to anybody? He has spent all the money he has and all the money he could borrow just to entertain people on the name of he is getting married. Let me give you another picture. I used to know a lady. We grew up together in the same church, and she was very active in the church, very famous, and she's this industrious woman. Now, when she wanted to do wedding, she felt like because she is popular, she must do a wedding that everybody claps for, and that exactly was what he did. He did this wedding, I can't even exaggerate, maybe 400 people were entertained. Then after the wedding, I saw her husband, looking for a job or something like that. Why do we waste that money to please people? Why? We know it has tendency to affect our life, probably for the rest of our life. I know a family who after wedding, they have to pay debt. They are probably still paying that debt now after 5 years of the wedding. So in the year 2015, when I wanted to do my wedding, I stood against everything the society wanted to tell me about wedding. And everybody around me was not actually fortunate because they want to push me, they want to push my neck to bow down for the culture. I don't have any respect for any culture that will affect my life. Some of them want to ramp it around religion. Like my in-laws want to tell me, you have to do wedding in the church. No, they are not lucky because I am a Christian. I read my Bible by the grace of God almost every day of my life. If you come to me and say something like, "Oh, this is how culture dictates that they do wedding," I look at your eyes and ask you, who created that culture? If you can tell me who created that culture, then I will go and read about that person. Maybe I will respect that culture. But you don't even know who created the culture you are worshiping. For example, where I live as a Nigerian, one of the culture is if you want to get married, you have to do introduction, a party, entertain a lot of people. You have to do what they call engagement. you blow party, you entertain maybe another 200 people, then you do wedding. Your wedding must be in the church, and it must be for you to really feel good. Like 300 people or 500 people. So when people told me, you have to do all that, I asked them, who created that culture? If you cannot tell me who created that culture, you can't force me to bow down for it. And some of them will tell you, yeah, it is a religious thing. So, for example, my father-in-law told me, you have to do your wedding in the church because it is good that religious leader bless your wedding. Then I asked my father-in-law, can you tell me in the Bible any single individual who did the wedding in the church or in the temple? The point is, entire Bible, you can't find a single individual. And I challenge you to go and pick it up. You have comment box right there. Tell me in the Bible where anybody did wedding in the church. Zero. Okay, I'm not trying to make this a religious video. Nor am I trying to present myself as a marriage counselor. I'm just pulling out my opinion. So I decided to do my wedding in front of my father-in-law's apartment. Invited maybe 3 people, my friends, maybe 3 friends, a few people in my family, and that is it. You might want to ask me why. Well, the answer to that is I don't see how a big wedding will make me happy for a long period of time. Because one other thing they will tell you if you are in my country is it is your day of joy. Your wedding day is your day of joy. And I look at their faces and ask them, how do you mean? My day of joy? What does it mean? The question is, do you have a better marriage because you wasted $100,000 on wedding? The answer is no. Is there any correlation between how much money people spend on wedding and how happy they are after the wedding? You know the answer? Zero. Zero. There is no relationship between wedding and marriage. They are separate things. I mean, they're not even together. They are like this. So when people think your wedding day is your day of joy, well, what they are telling you is you are going to be happy for 5 hours. That is what they are telling you. And that is true. If you blow a big wedding, you are actually going to be happy for 5 hours because you will see all of these hundreds of people and you will see all of these, celebration around you. But 24 hours after, you ask yourself, what exactly has happened? Nothing. So now think about this. What if you have made stupid financial decisions before your wedding or because of your wedding? And you have blown all of the money you have or all of the money you can borrow because you want to do wedding. Now I can tell you, now there is correlation between how much you spend on your wedding and how happy you will be during your marriage. And you know what will cause that? Financial pressure. Because now you are in debt. Now your decision to please people will now put you in bondage for the next 5 or 10 years of your life. I don't know. I can't tell how that makes sense to anybody in the world. According to newsbreak.com, an average wedding in America as of 2019 cost $33,900. Wait a minute to think about that. I don't know what to say again, so don't let me talk. Let me just look for a way to round up this video, especially for some of my friends from Western country, and of course Africans too, because we are in the same shoe. Take for example, I read or watched some videos when I got to know that there are some custom in some Western countries that says the engagement ring a man must buy have to be equal to his 3 months income. No, I'm not getting it. Ring does not make you an inch happier than you were yesterday. I mean, you're actually telling me that if I want to marry you as a lady, I have to waste my 3 months income. to buy you a ring, and the society and the culture had succeeded in deceiving you to believe that that will make you any happier than you should be. So, Steve, it seems to me as if you are trying to discourage people from being happy. I mean, spending money to make themselves happy on their wedding day. Now, Thomas, if that exactly is what you had me saying, that is what I'm saying. Okay, so listen to me. I'm not saying people should not make themselves happy. I'm only trying to get you to see that most of the things the society tells you will make you happy will most likely not make you happy. For example, wedding does not make nobody happy, marriage does. Maybe you should focus on that. Eleanor Roosevelt said, happiness is not a goal, it is a byproduct of a life well lived. Jesus Christ said, it is not things that is outward that make people sin. Usually, it is not those external things that make people happy. Oftentimes, happiness comes from the way you live your life. It comes from decision you make as against what you might want to believe about what the society say. I promise you, most of the things society preaches will not only not make you happy, they have tendency of making you sad. Like, for example, the society says you have to buy a ring for your fiancé with 3 months of income, and you have to do a wedding that's worth $30,000 and you want to fit into this. Then you go to get debt, you go to inconvenience yourself, and you put yourself in financial bondage. Now, you are deceived to believe doing that will make you happy. And truly, it makes you happy for 3, 4, 5 hours. But immediately after then, you live the rest of your life regretting that decision. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let me talk about people who have the means to actually do the biggest wedding in the world. Why not? For example, a good friend of mine got married 3 years ago. He blew a reasonable amount of money. But couples of months after his wedding, we sat down to talk, and he was telling me that wedding was financed by a single blog post on his website. Who in the world will not spend that money if your wedding only took away your 1 week of income? Even if that is $1 million, why not? But you are broke or have a struggling business, but you are thinking of what the society will say, what my in-laws will say, what my friends will say, what everybody else who do not matter will say. I'm sorry, that is not how to live a meaningful life. And that is why I decided to do a secret wedding. If this video makes sense to you, okay, maybe you should subscribe to this channel. If it doesn't make sense to you, just go ahead and delete the internet so that you won't be able to see me ever again in your life. Now, if you have not read any of my books, I think you are missing a great deal. And the reason why I think you are missing is because of the testimonials I'm getting from people who read my books. It is actually surprising to me. I will get people to send me a mail a few times, call me to ask, are you sure you wrote these books? And I will tell them, yes, I wrote those books. And so, no, you are not telling the truth. I said, no, I'm telling you the truth. But because they really could not believe what they are reading in the book. And at some point in 2015, I reasoned that if people could be reading my books and telling me that it's changed their life, why don't I give it out for people so that, so many more people get to benefit from the book. And that is why I decided to give out 1 or 2 of my books just for free. I was selling them before, but now they are free. And if you check the description box of this video, you can easily download them. I love you, and that is why I make this video. Thank you for taking time to listen to my boring rants.